Now, if you're one of those system managers who's got tens of thousands of PI tags they have to modify, here's some real good news. We do have a mechanism for managing all your PI tags within Excel. And this is done through an add-in. The add-in is called the Tag Configurator. And it's already installed on this machine. It actually gets installed when I install this Pi SMT. So SMT is here. I know the add-in is here, but it's just not hooked into Excel. So what I need to do is in Office 2007, I go in here into this Windows button, choose Excel Options, and go into Add-ins, and then choose Go. Now, for those of you who have Office 2003, just go into Tools, and then within Tools, go into Add-ins, and you'll get to the same place here. Now, once you get here to this Add-ins little widget here, just go out and browse for the add-in. Now, this add-in, it's called PI Tag Conf.xla, and you'll find it within your, this is going to be in the Program Files PyPC under, I believe it's called SMT. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure which one. Is it SMT3? I'm sorry, it's the other one. SMT. And here it is. It's called PI Tag Conf.xla. XLA stands for Excel add-in. Okay, and now that I've done that, it shows up here as PI Tag Conf Configurator 32-bit. Now it's going to show up. We don't have any support for it under the ribbon here. You will find that there is a Pi option here, but that Pi option is for data link, and we do support the ribbon in Office 2007 there. Here, though, you'll have to go into Add-ins, and under Add-ins, you'll find this Pi SMT. This is where you'll find it. So within SMT, there are some settings we should go over real quickly, and then we'll demonstrate how to do this. We have this option to connect to Pi server on startup. And really, this comes to the issue of how often do you use SMT for editing tags versus how often you use Excel for doing other things. I'll be honest, if I'm in and out of Excel, must be 40 times a day. I don't really want this connecting to Pi. If it's going to take 10 seconds or even 3 seconds to connect, I don't want it slowing me down. So it's up to you. You can choose to have this every time it starts up, or you can choose to disable that. And for that matter, you can also choose not even to load this until you need it. You could always just go into add-ins to do that. Anyway, let me go into settings. That would allow me to connect initially on startup if you want. Now these two here, I want to make sure, those of you who are security experts, you're probably tearing your hair out right now. Hold on a second. Allow tag deletion. Are you telling me that if I just do that, then I can delete tags? Actually, no. We have very robust, secure mechanisms for security, and it's only when you have this checked that you can even attempt to bypass the regular, or not bypass, I should say, but to attempt, using the normal security in Pi, the very, tightly integrated to Windows security, to delete Pi tags. All this does is simply removes the tag deletion option from being one of your choices. So we're not saying this is going to turn on and off security. What we're saying is by putting that there, that's going to put the delete option on the menu when you're using SMT, and similar for tag creation. Now, why would you ever want to do this? Actually, I think I would prefer to keep that unchecked, because the consequences of deleting Pi tags is so severe. I mean, in many cases, you're basically going to do a restore of whatever your good backup is. The consequences are so severe, I wouldn't want any easy way to delete hundreds of tags. Now, I would prefer that, on the day I wanted to delete 1,000 tags, I would go in to SMT, simply go into settings, and turn this on. I'd much rather do that than, in the middle of thinking I'm modifying a bunch of tags, accidentally, choose the wrong button from a drop-down list, that's only, they're only 1/8 of an inch apart. I don't want that capability. Anyway, so that's up to you. Now, some other things about this have to do with some of our older mechanisms for editing tags by the thousands. This PyDiff has to do with our VMS version of Pi. This has to do with both the NT and Unix versions of Pi. So we're going to skip over these for right now. Of course, they'll document it in the help there if you want to see. So I'm going to go ahead and allow those settings. Now, let me go ahead and demonstrate one of the easiest ways to modify tags. I'm going to import my tags. This is going to be importing from the Pi server into the spreadsheet, and then make some modifications and then export these back to the Pi server. Now, a lot of customers have told me in class they get confused about this import. They would say, hold on a second, aren't you importing from Excel into the server? Well, you know, you try to think of this from the point of view of where you are. Right now you're in Excel, so what we're trying to do is import into Excel. And then once we've done some things, we want to export back to the Pi server. So that's what we're talking about here. Okay, so once I've chosen import, I have a couple of ways I can import. I can import all the attributes that are currently on the spreadsheet. There are none. Or I can just bring in everything that meets a specific tag mask. Let's do that way first. I'm going to look for all the tags that end in the digits 158. And I'll just bring those in. What this is going to do is bring every single one of those tags in and show me every single attribute. So here they are. There's these 3 tags that we ship with the system, plus the one I created in a previous exercise. And here, alphabetically, are listed all of the attributes. And there's a lot of them. As you see, we can just keep going all the way over here to column AX. So there are many different attributes that you can look at here. These are the tag attributes. And just so there's no confusion over this, let me show you. There's, of course, a one-for-one correlation between what you're seeing here. For example, this digital tag I just created has a digital set called aset. You'll see a one-for-one correlation between what you see there and what you see over in the point builder. Because what we're doing is we're just showing you a faster way of editing things.